Hari Om. Om Guruve Namaha. Nim Karoli Baba. Om Atri Guruve Namaha. Shri Siddhima. Hari Om. Akanda Mandala Karang Vyaptam Jena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Agyana Timirandhasya Nananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurudevo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Para Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Dhanamulam Guru Murti. Pujamulam Guru Padam. Mantramulam Guru Vakyam. Moksha Mulam Guru Kripa. Moksha Mulam Guru Kripa. Siya Rama mein sab jag jaani, karahum pranama jora jugapani. Siya Rama mein sab jag jaani, karahum pranama jora jugapani. Sitaram, Sitaram, Jai Jai Hanuman, Jai Jai Hanuman, Jai Jaya Gurudev. Om. Greetings, everyone. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today, joining Nubia and I today. Nubia behind the scenes, literally behind the scenes on the other side of the computer, kind of nurturing and controlling what's going on. Hey, I think that dal might need a stir. We're also cooking dinner. I know you're all here, or I think you're all here to ask to learn more a little bit about the online Kirtan Camp. And I'm so happy to respond to any questions or concerns that you may have. I'll share one thing and then I'll sing a little something that I'm going to teach you all during the camp. I love to use the word camp, even though it's online, but in my heart, we're camping out somewhere under the stars and sharing and learning. But it was, I guess, like 21 years ago. It might be 22 or it might be 20. I'm not 100% sure. Nubi and I were living in San Anselmo, just not so far from where we are now. And I came home from a trip, and I was quite tired. I had sung my heart out for a bunch of people and made just a tiny bit of money. And Nubi said, traveling is so wearisome for you, and you are always going to work for other people, and then they pay you a little bit, and why don't we do it ourselves? Why don't we make a kirtan camp ourselves? And I was like, nah, I don't think so. Nobody would come. What would I teach? What could I do? And I'm kind of pessimistic and a little bit not so good with new ideas, mostly. So, but Nubia convinced me, and then we planned a 10-day kirtan camp in community center in San Rafael, a place called Open Secret. And suddenly, like, so many people were signing up to join, and that completely freaked me out. Like, oh my God, what am I going to teach? What am I going to share? Nubia says, Jai, you've been doing this for 50 years. Just be yourself, share what you do, share what your experiences. But I was still quite nervous. And so she gave me a little notebook, and she said, you might feel better if you make a plan, write what you're going to cover in the first day, second day, etc. So I just wrote the first day plan just because I didn't know. I wanted to see what it was like. And I wrote a lot of things that I wanted to share. By the end of the first day, I had only gotten to the top 3. And I realized that, oh, wow, this is a container. Somehow or another, we've created a container. And let my guru, our guru, all the gurus and guides of everyone who came, let them guide us within this container to and through what it is we're supposed to experience. In another image, I realized, well, we were in a ship, and we were putting up the mast. What's it called? The big sail. Is that what it is? The big sail, and the wind, the divine wind, will blow us to wherever we're meant to go. So we had an amazing experience, and I realized, yes, I'm the professor, so to speak, but that everybody has come with a lifetime full of both experience and longings and desires of what they want to learn, and certainly a heart full of love and devotion that they want to share. And that was such a relief to me, because I realized that, being the professor, I don't usually use that word, but I'm using it today, was just one cog in the wheel. And so we did it then, from that time on, we did it twice a year, almost every year. We did it once a year, every year, but twice a year, most years. And, each kirtan camp became richer and richer and more filled with spirit. And I was able to let go a little bit more each time. And we all know that the more that we can let go, the more, the divine spirit takes over. I mean, I fully believe that spirit is in complete control anyway, but the more we let go, the more we're able to feel that, and how beautiful that is. And on top of that, just as important, just as beautiful, was this quality of extended family that was growing and growing and growing out of the kirtan camps. And how awesome we get a phone call or a text or an email from somebody in, say, Spokane, Washington, for example, saying, well, I'm gathering with my friends. We're doing it, every other Tuesday night. We're passing around the harmonium or the little drum, and each person is taking a turn to lead a kirtan. And boy, it was so awkward, and it was we messed up so much, and it was so beautiful. And, you know, that was like so heartwarming. And well, that wasn't an isolated event. It just was happening more and more and more. And we felt our family, you know, our arms spread all around the world. It's just, it's a great thing. And then, you know, many, many years fast forward. Oh, I want to stop. As we fast forward, I'll stop at one little stop and remember kirtan we did at Hot Springs in Northern California. And there were a lot of kids at that kirtan camp. So the kids made a kirtan band. And that was one of the highlights of certainly Kirtan Camp, but it was one of the highlights of my own life. And yeah, yeah, I wish you were all there seeing it. But anyway, so then, of course, as we know, the pandemic came and we were scheduled to do a Kirtan Camp in, I think it was the July of, or August of 2020. And obviously we were not able to do that. And Nubia had the idea, well, why don't we do an online camp? And I said, no way. You know, the whole dialogue repeated itself. And but we started to record classes, and this required me to really organize my brain, which was a wonderful and not easy challenge for me. Because we were pre-recording segments, and in each segment I wanted to cover a certain, well, sometimes a certain chant, sometimes a certain deity, or sometimes, you know, some experiences in my own life that have been very important to me on my path, and sometimes stories from ancient India, you know, so it all, we wanted to have it all somewhat organized, and we did. And my mind was blown at how beautiful it turned out. And since then, we've been doing the online class, level 1, level 2, level 1 plus, which is coming up. We did one that was called the full experience. You know, and then we kept adding and adding and adding. And of course, we have the in-person sessions over Zoom, live sessions. And for this level 1 plus, I added 7 new chants that I created just for you all. And in the camp, we sing the songs, and then I do a very detailed harmonium tutorial, and then a slightly less detailed guitar tutorial, because it's hard with guitar because everyone is such a different level. So I just show it, you know, in a very simple way. And it's been great. It's just been super great. And every time we run the course again, we change it a little bit. I add things, we take out a few things. Nubia teaches some sessions now. She did from the beginning. And about the gods and the goddesses of the Hindu devotional world. My old friend Daniel Paul, who I traveled the world with for decades, who's a tabla player, does some episodes on rhythm and the rhythm of kirtan, and more, and we'll continue to add more. But anyway, that's I'm going to leave it at that for a second, and for a very short bit, I want to sing with you one of the kirtans that I created for the camp. And perhaps while you're singing with me, or if you like just listening to me, please, please, please type in any questions you might have, concerns, any worries, or any, you know, anything that you would like me to address, not about life in general, but about this coming Kirtan Camp. And Nubia, who is standing right there, as I said, will read the questions, and I'll try my best to answer them. But let's sing. I call this Sita Ram Lullaby. Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Sita Ram. Sita, the infinite goddess, the mother of the universe. Ram, the infinite God, Lord of the universe. And Jaya means victory.
I want to tell you, Jai, that we have people from Australia, Canada, England, Belgium, and then here, New Orleans, and all over the place. Ashok is in the house, Tara, Jade, Gail, so many friends as well.
Thank you all. That's so that that reminds me. One of the great things about the online camp, I mean, in our in-person camps, we did have people coming from all over the world, but in our online camps, there's tons of people from everywhere, and what an amazing thing that came out of this pandemic and working with Zoom was that people who we would never actually meet, we spend this time together and we meet and we get to know. So thank you all for tuning in, and for those good friends, those of you who I know very well already, thank you for coming today. So anyway, Sitaram Lullaby. Sitaram, 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 Jai Sitaram, 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 Jai Sitaram, 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 Jai Sitaram, 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 Jai Sitaram, 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 Jai Sitaram, 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 Jai Sitaram, 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 Jai Sitaram. I'm very often reminded in music that I hear, as well as music that I create, that there's as much beauty and potency in a very, very simple melody as there is in a very complex melody. So, part of my musical journey is exploring both, and how something can be really complex and awesome, and likewise how something can be really super simple and awesome, like this Sitaram lullaby. Anyway, now I'm ready for questions. Nubia's been type in. What do we got?
Well, we have, what I'm gonna do today.
Sit down.
I'm gonna sit here, but we have lots of questions, and starting with Robert. Robert wanted to know where to find the details, and I put it on the chat. So let's see if you can hear me from here a little better. Robert asked about details and brochure, and I put it in the text, the link to the website. But do you want to say about the formats, how the classes are, and then the time they have?
Well, I don't have all the times in my head. I'd say that look at the chat where Nubia has put the information, and if you're stumped and you can't find anything, write to Nubia. And for these kind of questions, her email is Jai Uttal Music Group @gmail.com. And if that gets too confusing, just write to me, jaiuttal@gmail.com, and I'll pass it on to Nubia, and she will answer you. But check the chat now, because that will direct you to the website where everything is there.
Yeah. But just to say, it's divided in 6 episodes, and that you call episodes, and then there will be a 7th, that is the 7th new chant. So people that have done the level 1 with you can join, learn more. But do you want to say just about the episodes? This first one is divided in 6 episodes.
Well, you said it.
If they can hear.
I'm assuming that everybody can hear Nubia. If you can't, just put some shout in the chat. So we don't need to repeat. In front of me, I don't have all the names of the episodes. Each one is a different aspect of devotion and bhakti. And as I said before, different, one episode focuses on one deity, another episode. I love TV, so I like calling the classes episodes. And each episode is divided into a whole bunch of different sections. So one episode could have, 6 or 7 sections, including which would be the harmonium tutorials, the chant, stories, etc. This is a lot of material. A lot of material. And how many in-person Zoom sessions do we have?
We have 5 in person, and then we were asked what is the format of the in-person class, and that's Aline asking.
It's the format of the in-person class is a little bit like this, except we can see, for the in-person class, and we call it in person over Zoom,
Zoom, live
the
Zoom.
Zoom live Zoom
Yeah.
class. We all be able to see each other and communicate with each other, and which is very, very beautiful thing to do. And but in a certain kind of way, it will be similar. I'll start singing, and then perhaps talk about something that was covered in the previous episode that had been released, and then I will usually sing with you one of the chants that I taught you in the episode, and I'll usually sing with you something else that I perhaps just made up or remember from the past that I like to, that I'm in the mood to sing. And we do questions and answers. Yeah,
And the best is that we can see one another,
yeah,
which today unfortunately is not happening.
we do. We do. No, I'm not going to say. I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
I'm safe.
And then two questions about how you actually teach the harmonium, like for someone that is just so super new, and if they will be learning the fingering and the melodies.
Yeah, really good question. Well, one thing that I cover early in the course, which is something that we can all study. Myself, I'm still studying. 60 years later, is the Indian system of notes, which is it's actually quite simple, but it takes like a moment to adjust to, and it's a little bit like do re mi fa sol la ti do. It's related to that, and then I have a camera, pointing down to my hands, and I very carefully will say, okay, we put our thumb on that note. You can't see it really now, but then I say, and we put our middle finger, that's this finger, on this note, which is an E, or if you don't know any notes, you can just see it. And I go beautifully, painstakingly slow, so that everybody can get it. And of course, the first chant that I teach is very, very simple, super simple. And then there's one or two chants that really require only 3 notes, and then it gets more complex. And, we give also a lot of time for you to slowly, slowly absorb. The last thing I would ever want is for our online Kirtan Camp to create stress or nervousness in anyone. We go slow, but it's very detailed. I show it very detailed and very slow. I promise you.
So someone is asking, Zara is asking if the chants will be adjusted for keys, vocal range for women.
Zara, yeah, that's also a great question. And if anybody didn't hear Nubia, Zara was asking if the chants will be transposed into different keys for women's voices. And no, I teach it all in the key of C. I mean, normally, myself, I sing higher than that, so that's a compromise for me. But it's impossible for me in this course to teach the chants in several different keys. However, what we do is give some instruction on how to transpose. It'll take a little while, so people have lower voices, people have higher voices. We're just going to sort of meet in the middle for the classes, and knowing that it's not going to be perfect range for everyone's voice, but that's the way that I can teach it.
Great. And then we were asked when classes are missed, if it will be recorded. And yes, the live classes will be recorded, and also all the episodes will be available for 1 year for people to do it over and over again on their time.
Again, I'm assuming you can hear Nubia, but I'm going to repeat that because that's so important. When you sign up for the camp, all the classes will be available, the whole course will be available for a year. So you can go at your own pace, and which I think is, some people fly through it, and some people spend, many months on the first lessons. And that, I think that both is perfectly cool and great. And yes, if you can't attend the live Zoom classes, they're all going to be recorded and sent out.
And I wanted to say that, let me put my face here.
Yay!
I cover Maharaja Siddhima. Just that if you sign up by Tuesday, you have a super early bird discount, and you get $150 off. So just sign up. And the information is through that link, and I'm glad that you were able to see it, Robert. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that you just said, just sign up. See, I could never say that, but just sign up. Okay.
And we have one more question.
Just
So,
one more?
well, yeah, that I can see.
Okay.
Does it matter how many octaves your harmonium have?
No. Okay, the question was, does it matter how many octaves your harmonium has? And no, not at all, because all of the chants, let me see, I want to make sure I'm saying this correctly. They're all about 1.5 octaves. I mean, no, they're not all about 1.5 octaves, but I think the maximum is 1.5 octaves. Does something go a little more? No, no. I will actually, to tell you the truth, I would have to really go through the chants and make sure, but I'm 99% sure that the maximum range for all the chants is just 1.5 octaves. So you can do it with a smaller harmonium. I love the Ragamala smaller harmoniums are super nice, and the Bava, the old Delhi music, his mini harmoniums are really nice as well.
Any other questions?
Yeah, any other questions?
I think Jai will look at the music that you post and give comments. Huh? I think Jai will look at it. Ashok is making a comment that also you will be checking the people's posting on music and making comments that will be helpful.
Thank you, Ashok. That's really. I'll repeat that, but that's a great point. We will have either a Facebook group.
Not anymore.
Okay, a Kajabi group.
Yeah.
There will be a group within
the
platform where people can post. I mean, where I would really hope and encourage and urge people to post like little mini videos. Number one, introducing themselves, and number two, as you're practicing. And my God, some people feel, oh gosh, sometimes I feel this too. It's a terrible burden, this feeling like, oh, it's got to be perfect before I post it, and that is so not where it's at. We want to see, and everybody wants to see how we're all doing. We're all works in progress, and if I see that somebody's approaching something a little incorrectly, I'm able to, in that group, make suggestions and perhaps alterations. One of these days will be in person, where I can really look over each person's shoulder and make corrections. But this is a way to approach that.
And create community.
And as well as create community, because it's not just me. It's everybody gets to see everybody. Well, what we used to do in our in-person camps was we would make a circle, and I had a hot potato shaker, and we would play hot potato. We would pass the shaker to each to the next person, and everybody would lead the kirtan for a minute or 2 minutes, depending on how many people we had, or pass. People were just, totally invited to pass if they wanted to. And one thing we discovered is that everyone loved everyone's offering, except the person doing the offering. We're always so hard on ourselves, and yet everyone just loves to see the humanness, the perfect imperfection of being human. So I encourage and urge, once this is all beginning, people to post your videos of yourself singing. It doesn't matter if it's not quite right, because we all love you and we all love each other.
I do have a question for you, Nubia. If you can share, like in a nutshell, about your training in music, just in a nutshell, in reference to Indian music, and in a nutshell, your meeting with Bhakti. devotion starting kirtan, like in a nutshell.
Yeah, it's a hard nutshell,
Yeah.
because there's a lot.
Oh, how is the dal?
Oh, how's the doll?
I turned off.
Okay. Who said that?
I shook.
Oh, Ashok. Ashok, we live closer to get, I mean, not really close, but we live closer to each other. I'm performing in Los Angeles on March 9th. You can send me an email. I could give you more information. It's not that far from Encinitas, if you're up for it. Anyway, yes, Nubia turned the doll off. Okay, Nubia asked if I can share a nutshell of my journey in music and devotion and bhakti. It's hard because, I'm 72, and I started playing music really when I was about 7. And my parents started me out with piano lessons. Now, I hated it, and my memories of it are very, very bad. But I will say that it gave me a very strong foundation of music theory and of the keyboard, which then I ignored and forgot about the keyboard for many years. But now playing harmonium, which I started doing, I guess, when I was 18-ish, so the early training on the piano put the harmonium right at ease in my fingertips. Anyway, so after giving up piano, I fell in love with banjo and spent years studying banjo. Then I played electric guitar and spent years, jamming out, wanting to be Jimi Hendrix. And then I met Ali Akbar Khan, who, oh, by the way, I still jam out and still want to be Jimi Hendrix, and I still play banjo and love banjo. But then I met Ali Akbar Khan, and, my life shifted because I heard music. In his music, I heard the sound of the Om. I heard the primal cry of the first human being, and I heard in the tabla beats, I heard the sound of the footsteps of the first humans, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years ago. People like me who study and adhere to or contemplate it, but that way, the Hindu sense of time and history believe that humans were here for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years. Anyway, I heard all of that in Ali Akbar Khan's music, and I put everything away and I began to study Indian music. And then several years after that, the call to go to the country that originated this music became too strong to ignore. And I went to India and I met my guru, Neem Karoli Baba Maharaji. And I'd been listening to Kirtan prior to that trip. And, beginning to sing Kirtan with friends and groups, not lead, but just to be part of. And then in India, I heard the Kirtan in its, in its original form, in its home, and I heard the passion. I had really found great joy and fun, I can say, in the Kirtan that I was exposed to before first going to India. But when I got to India, I felt and heard the passion and the intense longing, as well as the deep musicality, whether it was classically trained or rustic, music of the streets, but still deep, deep, deep musicality. And then I felt my heart ripped open, and the music lodged itself in my heart, and the sense of devotion lodged itself into my heart. I feel that my Guru Maharaji, well, I think the seed of bhakti, we're all born with it. But at the same time, I feel that Maharaji Neem Karoli Baba, I'll just put it this way, I've never put it this way before, he replanted the seed in my heart. And for the time I was there, he poured organic fertilizer on it. And then when I was getting ready to leave, he showed me how to water and how to nurture that seed. And And that seed was devotion. That seed, that sprout, that tender shoot was bhakti, is bhakti. And the way to water it, he showed me, was through mantra, japa, chanting, singing, serving, helping, sharing, whatever feeling and skill I had to share it with others. And gradually, there's been dry spells, of course, but that's such is life. But gradually, that seed has continued to grow, and I hope and pray it does continue to grow through this life, and then to the next life, and to the next life, and however many lives, I'm slated to live. And at first, singing these songs of devotion and bhakti was my way of healing my own wounds, healing my own traumas, my own, all the storms in my heart. And it still is that. But as the years passed, I also saw how vital it was and how fun and lovely and expanding and inspiring to myself it was and is to share these songs with other people and to show other people how they can, someone who's never played music before, how they can accompany themselves in a simple chant, in a simple way on the harmonium. And that has brought me so much satisfaction, and I realize it's as important as the inner work that happens while I'm singing and playing music. That's a big nutshell, but was that a nutshell enough?
That was perfect. Thank you.
Did any questions pop up?
No, just I think it's time for us to close with the chanting and thank everybody.
By the way, it's raining here, and it's a beautiful, beautiful rain. But 2 weeks ago, we were out of, we had no power for 6 days, and 6 full days. And so now I love looking at the rain. I love the rainy days, but I'm just like, come on, don't lose our power, don't lose our power. Anyway, let's sing a chant to the Divine Mother. And I think this is the only one. It's one of the 7 new chants in the 7th episode. This is the only one that wasn't totally created for the Kirtan Camp itself. It's something that I had sung. I've never recorded, but that I've sung for a while. I modified it just a little bit. And anyway, the words are Jaya, victory, Jagadambe, Mother of the Universe, Jai Jai Ma, victory, victory Ma. Ma, of course, means mother. Jai Ma Durga. Durga is an aspect of the Divine Mother, the destroyer of ignorance, the destroyer of illusion. She rides on a lion. She's a fierce lion warrior with the most beautiful, beautiful, sweet face. Sometimes she has 4 arms in which she carries weapons to fight those forces of disconnection, illusion, separateness, false ego. Sometimes she has 8 arms, sometimes 16 arms, and sometimes even 32 arms, each one holding a weapon to liberate us into pure love and pure wisdom. So anyway. So by the way, for this info session, this gathering, if anybody is wondering, I'm playing all the songs in C sharp because that's what I like to sing in. But when I teach it in C, as I said before. Yes, Nubia?
Shadi just asked a question. Am I checking to be sure one without experience playing a musical instrument will be okay with the level of instruction?
Sherry said, Shari, she was checking. One who has no musical experience at all, does not play an instrument, never learned anything about music, will the level of instruction be inclusive to that one? And my answer is yes, 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 yes. And again, remember that we have a year to explore these episodes and these lessons, and sometimes just re-listening to some of my explanations and stories, and also very often going back to the tutorial video and just knowing exactly where to put your fingers. And on top of that, if someone doesn't have an instrument, doesn't play an instrument, and doesn't want an instrument, and doesn't want to play an instrument, truly, the most important aspect of this is the voice and singing, and any voice, every voice, any kind of voice, a high voice, a low voice, a cracked voice, a smooth voice, any voice that any one of us has is the perfect voice for us to sing our prayers. So in truth, an instrument is not even required. Okay. Jaya Jagatambe, Jai Jai Ma, Jaya Ma, Durga. 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 Jai Jai Ma, 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 Jai Jai Ma. Jaya Jagatambe, Jai Jai Ma, Jaya Ma, Durga. 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 Jai Jai Ma, 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 Jaya Jagatambe, Jai Jai Ma, Jaya Ma, Durga, 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 Jai Jai Ma, 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 Jaya Jagatambe, Jai Jai Ma, Jaya Ma, Durga, Jaya Ma, Durga, Jaya Ma, Durga. Om Shri 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 Jagadambe Siddhi Ma Ki Jai. Om Shri 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 Bhavanim Karoli Santa Maharaj Ki Jai. Thank you all so much for coming today, and thank you, Nubia, my love. Nubia creates different altars for every session that we do. I really hope to see all of you at Kirtan Camp. I'm going to read through the chat just to, see how people were chatting. And it's been a joy just to share this hour with you, and have a great afternoon, great evening, great night, great morning, wherever you are on this earth. May you be happy. May all beings be happy. May you have good food. May all beings have good food. May you have good shelter. May all beings have good shelter. Ciao.